Hi, my name is Patricia Pelkey, and I'm going to be discussing some Michigan legislation that is affecting our schools. And I have chosen two laws that are really something that is in the forefront of all of our minds every single day in our schools here in Michigan. The first one discusses open carry. In Michigan, the law states that people are allowed to open carry a gun without any license. The other option is to carry a concealed weapon. In order to do that, you do have to have a what we call a CPL, a concealed pistol license. That law has really not given us much guidance as far as schools. So, as we talk about school safety, which is on the forefront of all of our minds, having a person walk in who is open carrying does cause some concern. This, in fact, happened to me in my very second week as a principal in my new school about 2 years ago. A parent came to orientation and they were open carrying throughout orientation. Nobody had noticed. I work in a fairly conservative district in which there are many people who do open carry or have concealed pistol licenses. So no one said anything. However, this parent did post on the Open Carry Michigan Facebook page and talked about how he was able to, at our school, open carry without any problem. And so this brought us to really examining the law with my superintendent and our local law enforcement. In this law, it does not say anything about not being able to open carry in schools. So technically, a person can come into a school and open carry, and there is really nothing that the law can do about that. What we have decided to do is to say that then we would follow our procedures as far as school safety. We would be in a lockdown and that person would be asked to leave. And then the police would come in as far as trespassing. So it's a very controversial law in the area that I particularly work in, and one that has come to the forefront. And unfortunately, there is just not a lot, there's a lot of gray in this law, and there's not a lot of black and white, which has led us to kind of try to figure out our way around this, as we do have parents within our district who do open carry on a regular basis. We ask them to not open carry, that we will not allow them to open carry on school property because of the disruption that it causes and the fear that it brings to our students. The other law that affects us in Michigan every single day is teacher evaluations. This is really a policy that comes from the Michigan's Department of Education, and they have really outlined what needs to be in our evaluation systems. In 2015 and 16 through 17 and 18, you can see on the graphs to the right that 75% of their overall evaluation can come from professional practice. That may come from observational evidence. 25% needed to come from student growth. This is another example of where there is a policy in place, but then there is also a lot of gray. And so it is up to local districts to decide, what does that student growth look like for that 25%. In 2018-19, it then moved to 40%. And the policy now states that 20% of that 40% of student growth must come from state assessment data. Again, this is a really difficult thing to follow through on because we don't get our state assessment data until August, but yet teacher evaluations are due June 1st. So it is very difficult to really have true student growth using state assessment data. So what the policy really says is that you must use that data if you are a tested area, so that is math and English. You must use that data in order to select the students in which you are going to show growth for. So again, there is a lot of gray in this area, and there is actually a new bill in our local state legislature that talks about moving the student growth back to 25%. Along with this 75% and now 60% that follows under practice, the state has outlined 5 different evaluation tools. These are research-based tools that they have said that districts need to use one of these 5. We currently use 5 dimensions of teaching and learning, which comes out of the University of Washington, but there is some work from Marzano, there is some work from Danielson that is in different evaluation tools. And so they are trying to align our evaluation processes across the district into really research-based. And then how does it affect student growth? If teachers are highly effective, as is our highest rating for teachers, then there should be that student growth that matches that. That had not been the case previous to 2015. And so this has been a substantial difference in our evaluation systems and really in the culture within our buildings. The evaluation systems are much more rigorous than had previously been, in which in my district, I can say every teacher was basically highly effective for the most part. It was very difficult to not be highly effective. With these new research-based evaluation tools, the bar has been set very high, and there has certainly been a different outcome in which we need to then work with. How are we then helping our teachers and supporting them and giving them some professional development in order to meet the new law and to meet the requirements within this new law, which is a much more rigorous evaluation system. So these two laws really do affect us every day. From my experience, it is school safety is at the top of everybody's list as far as priorities. And then the other piece of that is the evaluation system. It is something that we work on throughout the year. We work on the rubrics that are provided, and then how do we support teachers throughout that. So that's why I chose these two that really influence us every single day in our schools here in Michigan. Thank you so much.